The fourth conceptualist we have presenting an introduction to their work tonight is Caren Messing, a musician, a lyricist, poet, composer. Caren developed this idea, the name of the piece, Swimming Upstream, executed, edited, scored, composed entirely using an Apple iPhone 7. Caren brings an unusual, unique approach to creating, capturing the surreal dimensions of life's interpretation of experiences, sensations, and tastes. Swimming Upstream is based on the song by M. West, interpreted visually by Caren Messing. Welcome, Caren, to the world of the experimentalist, the visionary. Thank you.
My name is Caren Messing. I created the short musical film Swimming Upstream on my iPhone 7 Plus. I shot it and edited it on that device. I edited it using the Nlight Video Leap editing video editor app, and the song Swimming Upstream is written and performed by Michael West on his Still Life Illusions digital release. I'm singing background vocals on all of his tracks, and that's how I know Michael, because we performed together, and I've had the pleasure of doing background vocals with him for a few years. So Swimming Upstream was, is so rich in terms of anthropological presence cross-culturally. So I started by doing a lot of reading, read obviously a lot of myth from traditional Chinese tradition and cosmology. So notions of the koi and carp, swimming upstream, and if they're able to make it to the other side, this liminal passage, as the lore goes, they've gone through what's called the Dragon's Gate. As the mythology was more informing my consciousness than appeared in the actual manifested footage. However, the other reading that I did a lot of brought me to the traditional Greek myth of Sisyphus, which then led me to reading a lot about the more modern interpretations of the myth of Sisyphus, including Camus, and then this man named Manfred Kopfer, who wrote The Philosophy of Recursive Thinking, and he posited that there was actually a solution where Sisyphus, every time he goes up to the top of the hill, what if he chipped away stone from the landscape and then brought it back down to the bottom, and then every time he went back up and chipped some away and brought it back down, he'd wind up leveling the playing field, and then his huge boulder, his heft, would not roll down anymore. So it turned into Manfred Kopfer presenting that the actual test could be in itself a solution. When I read this, rather than processing it so much intellectually, I was determined to draw the notion, and I wound up doing an animation where I could draw this man going up a hill, and each time it leveling out. So even though it was very tedious as animation, because it was on an app called Animatic, so frame by frame I'm drawing this, what it did was, rather than my constantly intellectualizing this myth, it was sort of informing and getting deeper and deeper into my consciousness. So that was a really generative way to process that notion. And then I was delighted to be able to somehow fit in this animation into the final product of this short musical film. Otherwise, I did a lot of writing, stream of consciousness, or swimming upstream of consciousness. So I wound up doing a lot of writing that informed my process as well, because I started getting a lot of images, a spirit animal of an eagle, imagining that the whole experience was seen through an eagle's eye, the omni-attentiveness, the omniscience of the eagle, how solitary it must feel to be an eagle, and sort of the strife of the human condition of, this sort of Herculean test in determination and tenacity to get up to the top of the mountain when working through any type of strife in one's life, whether it's fighting addiction, whether it's COVID, whether it's coming through the grief of loss. So I found it to be a very universal perspective, having this sort of idea of a spirit animal like an eagle in the presence of this event. I also, imagining that here in the ecology of life, here's this trout or carp or koi struggling to make it back home, and there's the possibility of adversity, which is that an eagle could come and swipe it and end its life before it has reached the other side of triumph. So the eagle has a place in the system of relationships, just like the trout or the koi. So anyway, it was a real pleasure. That's just a few things that sort of intuitively fed my experience in producing and conceiving this work. So I hope you enjoy it, and I appreciate, thank you Magical Charm for the opportunity to speak extemporaneously, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be a part of Magical Charm. Thank you.